Yo, what's going on, guys? Another 2-minute Tuesday training coming at you, and today we're going to be talking about how to replace a term policy with a more expensive IUL policy. If you guys have shadowed my appointments, you've known me for any period of time, you know I'm a big advocate of IULs because it makes so much sense for a client. So let's say you're sitting with a client, they already have life insurance, they already have coverage, they got it taken care of, but they're open to hearing other options. And you don't ever want to disparage their current policy, or you don't want to talk it up either. Where what I'd say is I'd be like, okay, so this is a fairly decent policy, and you currently have a term. John and Mary, has anybody explained the difference between term and whole life to you guys before? And typically like, yeah, I know. I'll be like, all right, well, don't mean to bore you, but term, short for terminate, it's 10, 20, 30 years, whatever the case is, and it expires. Whole life, well, it's called whole life because it lasts your whole life. John and Mary, are you aware of what percentage of term policies pay out of people passing away within the term? No, what is it? Well, John and Mary, take a wild guess. I don't know, 50%, 30%. Well, that's a good guess, John and Mary. But according to the National Insurance Association, and Google this, look this up, less than 3% of term policies pay out. So what that means is that the insurance company knows that there's a 97% chance that you're gonna outlive that policy. And when you go to outlive that policy, well, you're 10, 20, 30 years older, so insurance is 10, 20, 30 times more expensive, and that's even if you're eligible at the time, based on your health. Versus with whole life, there's really no situation where you come up behind on a whole life because it's not a question of if it pays out or not, it's simply a question of when. So like I said, whole life, it lasts your entire life and you never have to worry about it expiring. But I still sit down with some clients, John and Mary, and they tell me, you know what, Jonah, that's great, but really, I only care about having coverage for the next 25, 30 years I have my mortgage, whatever the case may be, and then I really don't care about having coverage anymore. Do you know what I still tell them, John and Mary? I still tell them to take out a whole life policy. And the reason being is I sit down with them and I'm like, all right, John and Mary, so, let's say you decide you don't want it. Well, at that point, and this is with, just to clarify, this is with majority of IULs, not all IULs, so double check the illustration, make sure this is a fact before you tell the client this. But what I tell the client is like, all right, guys, no worries. You simply just surrendered the policy, and at that point, you're fully vested, so you're gonna get all your money back you've paid into it, plus interest. Where on term, you're not getting any money back. So with an IUL, there's really no situation where you come up behind because either A, policy's paying out, or B, God willing, you don't have to use it anymore. So there's really no situation where you're coming out behind in an IUL whole life policy because either A, policy's paying out, or B, 25, 30 years from now, down the road, once you're fully vested in the cash value, you decide you no longer want it, well, you get all your money back plus interest. And frankly, those are the only two scenarios that are gonna occur with this type of coverage. Does that make sense, John and Mary? And then boom. And that's how you transition, you pivot from a term to an IUL.